gotta just melt this as is. Do not release this to the world. Hi, I'm Glenn with Independence Training. I'm out here at the range today with a trauma surgeon friend of mine to go through some ballistic testing on ballistic gelatin through a couple of different types of materials, several different types of clothing, and even some soft armor. And we're going to use several different firearms and several different types of ammunition. Now, we understand that this is kind of anecdotal because we're not really doing a big conclusive scientific test here, but this is just to give us a pretty general idea of how this stuff is going to perform when we shoot different types of ammo through some common daily materials. Now we've put 2 layers of clothing here. We've got a layer of denim, some pant leg, and then a t-shirt in front of another gel block. And now we're going to use a 45 ACP. First, we're going to put around a 230 grain ball, and then we're going to put a round of 230 grain ASIM ammunition, jacketed hollow point, and we're going to see what the results are. Wow. Good God, I hate shooting. Holy shit, dude. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Wow. 45 ball drops them all for real, dude. Wow. Again, impressive. Freaking impressive, man.
Wow, I would not have guessed that either.
Holy crap. What do you say? 45 ball drops them all. Nothing close to the cavitation of the 45. All right, so we flipped our block over here, and the first round we fired was 45 ball, and what happened?
So here's the 45 ball down here, and you can see it failed to capture in the block, but we've got a huge cavitary lesion here that's pretty much right at the sweet spot of where you want it, between 10 and 14 inches. Then next we...
well, the 45 ball, it bears to mention here, when it didn't get captured, unlike all the other jacketed hollow points we shot, it blew through the wood and exited into La La Land. So here we fired through denim and then a cotton t-shirt, so 2 pairs of clothing. Wasn't captured, blew right through the wood, kept on freaking going, right? Which isn't necessarily what you want, but massive cavitation.
So the next one that we shot is going to be our 45 hollow point, which you can see right here. It comes in, gives you a little bit of cavitation pretty early on, good penetration down to 15.5 inches. So again, this would be considered an acceptable round by FBI standards. And then the last one is going to be this middle. It's going to be this middle one right here. You can see some of the denim that was dragged in. You have some cavitation a little further, a little deeper in, but again, not where you want it, at the 10 to 14 inch range. This one failed to capture as well.
This was 9mm, 124 grain ball. Yeah. Now, all this little bits of clothing and stuff getting pushed in there, what does that mean from a trauma perspective when you're trying to dig all that stuff out? So
it puts you at a very high risk of infection. These are people that are at a high risk of dying 3 to 7 days later from a massive sepsis if you're not able to get all of that debrided.
All right, so for our final example here, we're going to be shooting through some AR-500 armor level 3. This is their Reimlig. Want to see what happens when you put rifle rounds through soft armor and some clothing, and what the wounding profile actually looks like. So we're going to start with a round of 5.7 VMAX, and then we're going to hit it with a round of 62 grain 5.56 Bear Claw. Try to see what happens, man. 100% captured by body armor.
Nice. Yeah. Nothing.
Didn't like it. There's deformation, which means you have traumatic injury there. So that you have deformation on the back, but 100% captured.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Right? Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it remained
dead. You are freaking dead, man.
Lethality there.
Dude.
Jeez.
That's That's a bad day.
That is a bad day.
Bad day. That is too beautiful. I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
Ow. That looked pretty bad.
Oh, that's probably not as good as the last one.
It's just that explosive style.
Yeah.
You know?
But again, I mean, you only had one thing that penetrated far enough.
Here's what we found. The 5.7.
Completely stopped by the armor.
Stopped cold. The armor totally captured it. Definitely had some deformation, but totally captured the round. The 5.56, on the other hand, not so good. 62 grain bear claw.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that look like from a trauma standpoint?
So again, you know, you're looking for our depth of penetration, which is going to be 14, 15 inches. So that meets our standard for today of 12 inches. We've got pretty good cavitation. All this is early on, so it's likely not going to cause too much significant wounding. But again, the penetration is what you're looking for.
Over here we shot the 5.56 Liberty ammo. Moves at a much higher velocity, designed to kind of fragment. Obviously went through the soft armor. We knew that was going to happen. And what does a wounding profile like that do to you?
So again, you see some very impressive fragmentation early on, but this is going to be muscle and soft tissue. Some of these fragments, which don't hit our 12-inch mark, may hit something crucial, but it's not reliable. And then you have your one little tiny fragment that penetrates all the way.
You know, the penetration isn't the only thing you're worried about, because that's a relatively small projectile and doesn't cause the ripping, tearing, cavitation, sepsis, nasty, terrible tissue damage. So that freaking hurts. But mostly, if it was just this, totally survivable wound. Add that in, and now it makes things worse, especially if it hits vital organs, hydraulics and ventilation system, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that concludes our tests. We tried to pick a good cross-section of different calibers and different rounds to fire into these ballistic gel blocks. We wish we had more time. We wish we had more blocks, but we think we covered a pretty good amount of variety as far as the types of barriers you may have to shoot through and what they are realistically going to do once the bullet actually exits the other side. So while, you know, from a consumer standpoint, a round like this may look really good in an ad, and you heard it from the doctor's mouth today, you really want something more like this. You want that deeper cavitation, and you want a round that's going to stay together and penetrate deeper into the actual body cavity. So if you have any questions about any of this kind of stuff, email us, info@trainingaz.com. Of course, you can always check out our website at trainingaz.com. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and train hard.